Alright, this is the other fan from the laundromat. This is the British-made Airmaster. And got it hanging up here because I did some work on it. It's being sent to a collector that I promised it to in exchange for picking up some island fans for me and picking up another fan for the museum. I promised him I'd find him one of these as a thank you, so that's where this is going. I would probably keep it if I hadn't already promised it. I didn't think I liked these, but they're just so unusual. They're just very strange. And they're fairly rare as industrial fans go. I might even consider one for the museum, although I think the Autumn Air version would be better for the museum. Or a 36-inch version would be great. Actually, that would be even better. I know I've seen one, but I can't remember where and when. Might have been in pictures. That's probably less common. At least the Autumn Air version is in the Sears catalog. So, these are in some ways very cheap fans. The blades are the thinnest possible sheet metal that you could ever imagine having, and they bend when you just pretty much breathe on them. What else? You know, the canopies are plastic, but that's fairly common. So, people would say they have cheap bearings. I don't think the bearings are that cheap. They seem like normal bearings to me. I think the problem is there's just not enough heat dissipation in the motor, and so the bearings are the first casualty of that. I think that's the case with most fans that are known for having bearing problems. Because you'll notice that the fans that aren't known for having bearing problems are usually cast iron. At least when it comes to industrial fans. Another thing you'll notice is that the canopies are much less yellow than they were in the laundromat. They're still yellow-ish, but they were pretty dark in the laundromat. I've been using this totally awesome cleaner to take the yellow off. It's the only thing I've ever found that does. And just to give you an example, I'm going to take a paper towel. Spray a little bit on there. Give it some elbow grease. You may or may not be able to see the difference, but you will see when you look at the paper towel. I guess that doesn't really show on the camera either, but the paper towel gets yellowed. So you can tell that it's still taking some off there. I stopped when it stopped making a huge and noticeable difference. It was, at first, the first couple coats took it from very dark to light, and you could just see it running off of there. And when the difference became more subtle, I stopped. But it definitely was worth using. So, okay. Well, the 4-speed, I'm still using this Fastco 4-speed control. And let's power it up on low. I took it apart and regreased the bearings. Normally I would replace them. Well, actually, normally for a fan like this and the shape the bearings were in, I wouldn't replace them. I wouldn't even bother taking it apart. I would just oil them and let that be it. But the way these are built, there's absolutely no access to the bottom bearing without taking it apart. Even with something like a gold line, you can usually, get oil to it without taking it apart. But in this case, there was no other option. So I took it apart and regreased the bearings. If it was a fan that I was going to be using consistently, especially if it was going to be used on high or used in a church or a bedroom or someplace where noise is a factor, then I would put new bearings in it. Because it runs smoothly now. There's no dry bearing noise, but there is the used, relubricated bearing noise. And that's not ideal. Plus, regreased bearings aren't going to last nearly as long as new sealed bearings. So, like I said, that's not something I normally advise doing. Okay, that's the low speed. Stop it. Turn it up to medium low. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I swear that as a kid I saw these in different colors, not just with the blue on the top, but I believe I saw them with either blue, pink, or yellow, or possibly even green for the top half of the motor housing. Everything that was white was still white, and the canopies were either white or yellowed with, you know, age and sunlight. But I believe I've seen these with the blue piece being different colors. Somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong about that, and I could be because I was a kid. Okay, so that's medium low. Let's turn it up to medium high. These are not bad fans by any means. They're just in terms of that they do move a good deal of air, they don't use a lot of current, and other than wind noise, they're silent. So the only downside to them is they just don't hold up to rigorous use as well as other commercial industrial fans. So, you know, that high speed, I mean, that's a factor for commercial and industrial environments, but you know, these are fine. If somebody wanted a good air mover for their home. Just thought about it. There was a restaurant here, I think it was a Houlihan's, that had two of these on the front porch. And I'm pretty sure they recently tore it down. I should have inquired about them. These were kind of on my list of fans for years that I didn't care about, and so when they were removed or replaced, I just went, But I'm learning I can't really be like that about any fans anymore, because they're not making any more of these older ones, and if I'm not crazy about them, somebody else is. Okay, there's high speed. Quite a bit of air moved. Let's watch it spin down. If somebody cares, they can compare the spin down time now with the regreased bearings to the spin down time when it was installed in the laundromat. All other factors should be equal. High speed is high speed. Power company is fairly consistent around here, so it's probably right around 118 in both places. The bearings performed fine at the laundromat, so it shouldn't be a huge difference. They just had the dry bearing rattle, which is not a good thing. It's indicative that you'll have further problems if you keep using it without Yeah, I'm definitely going to miss sending this off. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I cared about these, but I think I'm going to miss it when I send it off. It's always cool to have a fan with a story. Okay, thanks for watching.